Hey, it's Poopy. Storyworth question this week was, what was your dream car? So, and I've never been a car guy, really. I wasn't back then and I'm not now. But of course, I liked um, a lot of different cars and thought they were cool. But I never had one particular one in mind. I actually got into customized vans and trucks. I used to get Truckin' magazine and sometimes Van World magazine, and I'd see trucks that had, you could live in them. They were like an apartment, but they were like really laid out and pretty cool. Had big sound systems. Some of them could go. They were four-wheel drive and could go over anything. I don't know for sure, but it seems like if there was an amphibious vehicle that was all custom and tricked out, I would have liked it too. I used to draw pictures of vans and trucks with all kind of cool innovations, and some of those innovations probably just lived in my head. But since I didn't have a dream car, I will share with you the story of how I got my first car. So when I turned 16, I drove my mom's car. That was a Buick Riviera, maybe. I don't even remember. It was a Buick, and I would drive my dad's El Camino, which was pretty cool. Hey, look who's here. Psst, psst. Milo. So yeah, I would drive my dad's El Camino, and actually, I'll put a picture in here. This was prom, my 10th grade year, and if those people look familiar, that's me, and that's Lori, my wife. We were set up to go to prom together, and we had to like work at the prom because prom was really for upperclassmen. And we were put together, and we had to make our own outfits. We had obviously it was a Hawaiian theme, but that right there is the El Camino. I just wanted to share the picture too, because I share pictures of that day as much as I can. You'll sometimes see me with a hula shirt on because Lori has since been nicknamed Hula Lola by our friend Richard. So, or hula for short for shirt. I had shirts on my mind. So anyway, one day my dad said that Aunt Lenny Bell wanted to know if I wanted a car, and I was like, okay. I started thinking, right? I'm 17 now, and I'm thinking, well, And to be honest, I really didn't know who she was because she was my grandfather's sister. And there were 8 kids in that family. Between the 4 sisters that he had and then the sisters-in-law that he had, being 2 generations away, I really couldn't keep a whole lot of them straight. So anyway, I was kind of worried that I was going to end up with an old lady car. But I said, all right, let's go look at it. So we drove over to her house in Lordstown and rang the doorbell, and she brought us out to the garage. It was really like a barn. It was really dark in there. There's maybe one light bulb, the way that I remember it. And there's this car sitting there, and it's covered up, right? And she's talking to my dad and talking to me about this car. And remember, I'm not a car guy, so I have no idea what she's talking about. I know what she's talking about, but I'm trying to figure out what's under the blanket, right? Is this going to be an old lady car, or how do I get out of having to take this car if it's really horrible? So anyway, it seemed like about an hour that she talked. It was probably like a minute, and then we took the cover off the car, and it was a pretty cool silver 1967 Skylark. It had fender skirts. They were actually in the trunk. I put those on later. But it didn't quite have fins on the back, but it was a really cool 15-year-old car at the time. Actually, it was really fast, too. Not that I went over the speed limit. But, yeah, so I was like, whoa, thanks. And, really appreciated it. I didn't let her give it to me. I don't remember if it was my dad putting it in my head on the way over there, or if I was probably my dad putting it in my head, because I would have done that same thing for my kids and now my grandkids. So I said, well, I can't let you give it to me, but, I'll buy it. What would you like? Because I'd been saving for a car. And she settled. She just said, give me $500 if you have to give me something. So I did, and the rest is history. I had a cool, not old lady, 67 Skylark.